to go back and look at it, you'll have that ability. And it's also there for those that are unable to attend for whatever reason.
Good deal.
So.
Who is this other iPhone next to Tony? iPhone 2 here. There's no picture.
That might be Victor.
Do you
Oh,
have Steve already? Steve D'Ambrose?
I do.
Okay.
Roy is going to be facilitating that group. He has he has a bunch of situations to go through, and also some discussion topics. C3s will be in their separate group. They will be with Kathy. Same situation. They have situations to discuss, and they will go through that. And then the C4s and C5s, which includes all the new people, you are going to be with Marianne going through rules, going through that. We are covering rules 1 through 6 tonight, okay? We have some quizzes at the end. They're called polls here in Zoom. So we have 2 polls set up at the end. We're going to all come back together after the breakout rooms. And then everybody will take the quizzes, and then we'll go over the answers to the quizzes and answer any questions at that point that people may have. All right. Is there anyone that has any questions before we get started? Okay, I think Robert is still working on the breakout rooms.
I have some announcements I need to make before we get started.
That's very good. Go ahead.
Jeff? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hi, it's Marianne as the treasurer. I am giving you guys an update on things. I plan on putting in all the checks on Friday. So if anybody needs their check held for any reason, please send me an email to my Yahoo account, mchentamene@yahoo.com. The Venmo is up and running. So if you need to use it to send over your money, please do so. All of my basketball guys, except for David Salazar, you guys need to send in $10 more because you were given the wrong amount. It's not 190 minus 70, it's 190 minus 60. So your fees are 130, not 120. So if you can send that over, and Ivan, you're taken care of too. And then we have more people who actually have invoices that you may want to pay off before we start the new season, so you don't have a huge amount due at the end of the season. You would need to go onto the website, go under reports, go under official invoice, and on the scroll all the way down to the very bottom, in red will tell you either you owe or you have a credit. Any credits we're leaving for the new season coming up, and any amounts that you owe, if you want to pay it off now, I would suggest, so that way, some people didn't put down any deposit for boy season, so that's why you have money that is owed now. People who put down the $50 and didn't use that up will have a credit, and some people went over their 50 and they owe a little bit. So you might want to go onto the website, go under reports, officials invoice, all on the left side, and find out how much you owe, since it didn't allow me to send out the invoice to everybody. And Marty, I need you to call me. I'm not sure what's going on with your check. So give me a call. I'm good.
If you don't mind, I'm still looking for who has the number, last 4 digits, 0478. They're on mute, 0478, right here between Marty and Tim. Here. Do you know who this is, Jeff?
No, I don't.
Okay. Asked to unmute. Right here, who is
Ivan.
Got it. Ivan's twice though. He's over here also?
I don't know.
There's Ivan, Marty,
Oh,
Ivan.
no, he came up with a different number. He's not the 0478.
Got it.
Ivan's
Okay.
on, yeah, I see 2 Ivans.
Okay, now it disappeared. I still need 0478.
Did you get the 1369 and the 5779?
No.
Those two are next to you, between you and
Yeah,
Kathy,
Oh,
Yeah.
478. Hang on, it's in the chat.
Jim Newen said he's 0478.
Yep.
Hold on. On what? 478.
Jim Newens is 2478 or 0478, whatever it is.
Oh, okay, 04. Then
He's unable to talk, you said.
got it. Jim, okay.
I got him. I renamed him.
And how about the 1369 and 5779? 1369 is the last 4 digits. 5779, last 4 digits. If you want
6 hours of video, I'll talk about that too. If you,
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry.
who've not done the 6 hours of the video. Is that what you meant? We're talking about, Jack, the video or the online test?
Yeah. Yes, thanks.
Okay, so the video is still, we'll talk about that too at the afterwards. All right, so I'm gonna send people to breakout rooms now. They will, and then like I said, you will have leaders in your breakout rooms who will facilitate the conversation and what we're gonna be doing in there, okay? Robert. Where is Robert? Hang on, I still don't think we're set. I'm sorry, I still don't think we're set on these rooms. Robert, are you still working on the room? Because I'm looking at them. I don't see. Okay, he's still working. Hang on, guys. He's still working on setting up the rooms. Apologize.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
I've never done breakout rooms, so I don't know how they work. Do you assign somebody to a room and then automatically you're there?
Yeah,
Do you have to
yes,
click on
there.
it, or-
Yes, there are a couple ways they work. One, there's randomized breakout rooms where we can just create 5 rooms or 3 rooms or whatever we want and hit assign and everybody goes into a room randomly. That's one option, but that's not what we're looking for today. What we're looking for is we want to assign specific people to specific rooms. So the way, when we get it done, I'll hit breakout rooms and all of you, you'll get a little thing that says you're going to this room. And then I think it asks you a question.
Jeff, I don't mean to interrupt you. Robert just wrote me and asked if you could make him host again so he can work on the breakout rooms.
Thank you.
Sorry about it. Sorry about interrupting.
Robert.
You have me in there, Kathy?
Yep, I see you,
Steve?
Steve. Yep. Brett's in there. Let's see. I want to. Can't mute the audio. Okay. I think, let's see, participants. There's Mike. Okay. I am going to try and unmute all of you. Let's see. Ask to unmute. Ask to unmute. Robert, I know you can't unmute. Lou, you're unmuted. Good. Kaz will ask to unmute, even though I'm sure he probably can't. Jason, we're going to unmute. And Tony. Okay. Can everybody got a speaking voice? I think Jason's going to get in there.
Yep,
Jason?
I'm here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, so one thing really fast is any background noise, if you can have a TV or radio or anything off, or go ahead and mute yourself if you have something that needs to be on. That way, if anybody wants to share. So we're going to go through, we have the casebook. Does everybody have their casebook with them?
Yes.
Yeah, I can go get it.
Okay.
Gotta go get mine, Kathy.
Yeah, if you have your casebook, the good thing about this is you can actually highlight or reference it. Okay. So we will wait a second. Okay. Jason, I'm gonna remute you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start just slowly. I think Jason's getting his book right now. Wait like another minute. But for those of you who have your book in hand, we're gonna start on page 6. So if you wanna go ahead and turn to page 6 in your case book. Let's see, I don't know how I'm gonna do this for Kaz. Let me see if I have another paper. Ah, I do. Okay, so Kaz, I don't have a highlighter. Kaz. Sorry, I'm trying to help here because I have no other way to help him.
Hi, Kathy, I'm back.
Okay, good deal. Okay, page 6. I'm gonna try and help here because I don't think we have any other way of helping Kaz with his information. Let's see, 1.6.2. Okay, so let me go over here to Kaz. Chat. Kaz. First case book, page 6, 1.6.2. There we go. Maybe that'll help. Okay. So Kaz, if you can look at the message. There we go. Okay. So if everybody's got their case book, let's go ahead and start. So how many of you have gone to a pre-match and you don't have a coin, or you don't have your watch, or you're just kind of unprepared, or you haven't talked to the coaches ahead of time for maybe their rosters? So what I want to say, covering before I even start, is there's, believe it or not, there is a lot to be aware of before you even blow that whistle for that pre-match. Is there 20 minutes set on the clock? I mean, we'll go through several things, but let's go ahead and cover the first part of this. So pre-match conference, 1.6.2 situation. At the pre-match conference, and again, just real quick footnote, our pre-match conference may change its location. It may not necessarily be between the score table and the pole. It may change to center court based on what our CCVOA.
Can you hear me? Okay, you made, I got you, you made me co-host. All right, now I got breakout room option. Okay, we're good. I got breakout rooms. You're recording. Are you using this computer to do your next, when you go to Pavo? Are you going to Pavo on this computer? Because you're recording. I don't know what's going to happen to the recording. Yeah, that's the, I don't think it's going to record. I think when you leave
On the court, you want to know who the alternate captain is, because when the libero comes off, you're still going to need to know who the alternate captain is. Okay, okay, got it. So we are going on to, let me put this down for Kaz. We're going to go to page 7. We're going to go and now talk about overhead obstruction, 2.2. Okay, so actually I should type this in. Sorry, I'm trying to be helpful here. Page 7, 2.2, overhead obstruction. for the little bit of delay. You guys can look ahead though, and I'll try and each time let you know ahead. Okay. So rule 7, 2.2, and we'll just go over really quick. Overhead obstruction. So team R passes the ball, and on the second contact, it becomes motionless in an overhead obstruction. Most likely this is going to be either a beam or a basketball, the back of a basketball hoop. A, over team R's playing area. B, over team S's playing area. C, over a playable area which is outside the boundary lines on team R side of the net extended. Ruling. So A and C is a replay, and on our side, if it's on B side, it is loss of rallying a point. Okay. Situation 2.2B. Center back on team S passes a ball that hits an overhead obstruction on team R side of the net over a playable area outside of the court. Right front makes team S's second contact, passing the ball across the net between the net antenna. Hold on, I'm going to go to the next page. The overhead obstruction, A, 5 feet outside team S's court. B, 10 feet outside of team S's court. Ruling, A and B legal. Comment, as long as the portion of the overhead obstruction connected is on team S's side of the net, extended and over a playable area, the height and distance from the court is not relevant. Did you guys all understand that? Look at the net, line extended, make sure it's on whoever contacted, it's on their side, and they still have a playable hit. So again, R1, where's your eyes? Ball contact. B, R2, if you need to assist on your side, where the ball contacted, on the ceiling or within the lines of the court, over a playable area. So if it hits over the bleachers, you know it's automatically out. Okay? And again, some of the schools that we play at, they have banners hanging, they have equipment hanging. We're going to predetermine again on that pre-match what is legal, what is not legal. Okay, situation C, a basketball goal is permanently, we already talked about that. Situation D, team A's first contact strikes a side raised vertical backboard over a playable area near the ceiling on team A's side of the court. The referee whistles, signals out of bounds, and awards a point, loss of rally to team B. Ruling, incorrect procedure. Comment, a side raised vertical backboard is to be considered an overhead obstruction above a playable area and shall remain in play provided the ball remains on the side of the team the last played. Sorry, I got to get another light on here. My apologies. I think that's my problem here. There we go. Remain in play, last played the ball and is legally played by the same team. There we go. Any questions on out of bound overhead obstructions?
So Kathy, you're saying like that, or you're saying a permanent thing that is
permanently fixed. It cannot. So let me think of some of the schools that have a permanent fixed. Gosh, I'm trying to think. So any school.
Bishop Diego.
Oh, Bishop Diego, or even Newbury Park. They have fixed vertical basketball hoops. They cannot be moved in any position. So you want to talk about those first in your pre-match.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me write to class. We're going to go to page 9 and 10. We're going to cover restricted play. And that's gonna be 2.4.1 and 2.4.2, situation C. Okay, so let's go to page 9, 2.4.1, situation C. So this is restricted play. C, after the second contact, a player chases an errant ball toward his or her team bench area. The player passes the ball into the court area and then falls into the substitutes on the bench who push the player back toward the court. The first referee whistles and signals illegal hit. Ruling. Incorrect procedure. The player makes a legal play on the ball before making contact with a team member. No advantage is gained. Again, if it's on the team bench side, R2, your eyes need to be probably assisting, again, to make sure that that player is legally in good contact. Remember, we have new boundary lines, whether it be the bench or the score table. Making sure where they last contacted that ball, they contacted it legally, then it may be an out of bounds or illegal contact. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
You guys, good thumbs up. Thanks, Brett. Okay, so let's talk about 2.4.2, situation C. And if there's any other situations that you come upon, we can stop. I think we're doing pretty good. Let me know and we'll try and cover it. Okay, situation C. A player from team A, after making a legal play on the ball, enters a non-playable area. B, makes a save while sitting on the scorer's table with no contact with the floor or any playable area on his or her side of the net. C, saves a ball with 1 foot on a playable area and 1 foot in a non-playable area. D, moves a curtain divider that is more than 6 feet from the court to play the ball. Ruling. This is important because there's a lot of options here. A and C are legal. So A, making a legal play on the ball, enters a non-playable area. Again, he's running outward, or she is. C, contacts, saves a ball with 1 foot in a playable area, the other one is out. Foot is a legal contact body part. Okay, B and D are illegal. Again, he's sitting on the scorer's table. He's in it, and he's not touching the court. And then D moves the court, so it's an unfair advantage by moving the curtain to play the ball. Again, if there is a curtain hanging in a playable area that might be considered something that's questionable, cover it in your pre-match. Okay. Comment, players may play a ball over a non-playable area provided the player is in contact with a playable area at the time the ball is contacted. A player may enter a non-playable area after playing a ball except when competition is scheduled for an adjacent court, tournament-wise. The referee should address that curtain is restricted and functions as a wall when reviewing the ground rules in a pre-match conference with coaches and captains. Okay. Any questions?
Kathy, I always thought that you had to just have, you could only have 1 foot in the playable area, not 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
As long as a body part is touching a legal playing area. It could be an elbow, and they could be popping it up with the other arm. As long as they have a body part touching a legal playing area, then that should still be a legal contact.
Kathy, we're talking almost like the bench rule when they're running towards the bench. If we have a foot down, it's okay if they have, as long as they have that 1 foot down, correct?
Correct. Let's say it's the bleachers. Let's say that the player is diving. They still have, remember, wood on foot, foot on wood, foot on wood. They have to have a body part contacting a legal playing area, the court, make contact, and then they can proceed on. Okay. Let's talk about.
I was thinking that if they had, let's just say, kind of simultaneously 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
That's fine. That's legal.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions, guys? Okay, let's go to page 12, the officials table. Let me ask you, how many of you carry extra supplies in your bags? Anybody? Okay, good. So let me just give you a real quick, brief cheat. You should always carry at least 3 pens. Black and maybe at least a blue. Any other color, I don't care, as long as it shows up alternating. 95% of the time, they're only going to have a pencil and maybe a black pen. As the R2, save yourself the frustration. You need the alternating colors. Second of all, some of us carry whiteout. You don't have to, it's not required. You can cross out a mistake. Third of all, if you want to carry extra score sheets or lineup sheets, great, but those aren't required. My biggest thing is carrying pens. That would be the biggest thing I would tell you as far as the table. Okay, so let's go over.
Hey, Kathy,
Yes.
can you mute everybody? Except yourself.
Yeah. Let's see. I will.
Or, I mean,
I think
or maybe, can you just tell everyone to mute themselves until they have a question, maybe? Because
Whereas kids playing in the background, can you mute yourself?
yeah, thank you.
Who's barking?
Maybe that's more what you need to say.
Thanks, David.
Okay. If
Did
if
you
you
hear
have
my
background
dogs
noise,
barking?
yeah, go.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can.
I'll mute
Jason?
myself.
Okay. Or yeah, if you want to mute till you have a question.
Kathy, I think you muted yourself. Oh, there you go.
I muted her. I was able to mute everyone. So hang on, Kathy. Kathy, you should be able to unmute now.
Yep, I'm good. Okay, everybody
Yep.
can hear me, thumbs up? Yep, okay, good. Okay, so, table. Officials table. Gosh darn it, why is this doing this? I need this app to work. It's my flashlight. Okay, officials table and team benches. So, shoot, I don't know why it keeps going off. Hold on, let me turn on the light. 1 second. Now I'm not so blind. Okay, guys, here we go. Situation 3.4A. Due to the structure of the facility, the officials table is located 4 feet from the sideline. Ruling, no penalty. Referees shall establish appropriate good ground rules and make appropriate calls when a player's effort to legally play the ball and player safety is affected. Padding around the front edge of the table may be needed. It may be necessary to issue a replay due to the table being less than 60 feet from the sideline. I want to talk about really fast tables really quick, guys. There's several schools, whether it be St. Bonaventure, Lorena, some of the schools, even Grace Brethren, that your score table is not in the proximity behind you. So please know the school you're going to. You may have to be a little bit louder on your substitutions. You may have to do quite a bit more double checking when you have score sheets. You have new table crews, so forth. Again, pre-match, 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 okay? Situation B, because of restricted space, team benches and the officials table must be positioned at the end of the court. Ruling, no penalty. Comment, the table shall be a safe distance from the court and if necessary, padded of the table should be provided. The second referee and scorer should devise efficient methods for substitution procedure and communication. Guys, situation B pretty much is only effective, I see, at tournaments. I don't know of any school where your score table would not be directly or within a proximity behind you. The only time it's going to be like that is going to be a tournament. And And again, it's going to be up to you to be very consistent following the score. So if there's a flip score or if there's a visual electronic score, you need to pay attention to that. 3.5 situation. The team benches begin at the edge of the official's table, about 2 feet from the center line extension. The first referee has the host school move the benches back to 6 feet from the sideline and no closer than the out of bounds extension of the center line than 10 feet. Ruling. Correct procedure, no penalty. If space does not permit, the benches should be moved as close as possible to these requirements. Based on this COVID situation, again, there may be an entirely different environment than we're used to. You may have double row benches. It may not necessarily be a single bench for social safe distancing. But again, if space permits, you always want to make sure your team bench is no closer than the attack line, 6 feet from the sideline. Pay attention. You guys need to look at this. A lot of times they've come to a court and there's an extra chair or two closer to the table. Ask the coach or the athletic director, whoever's in charge, to please move them so they are in the correct, by rule, placement. You need that room. Go ahead, Jeff.
So what I do a lot of times, if I get there and I see that they're encroaching into the substitution zone with their bench, if it's a movable chair, I just grab it and I move it to the end of the bench myself. I just try and do preventative officiating and get them to the right spot. If that's not possible for whatever reason and you need assistance from school personnel, go ahead and ask them. But the other point about all of that is that if something is not, like if they don't have 6 feet or if they're not able to move the bench down far enough, things like that, we are still going to play the game. We're still going to do that. You are just then going to call and let us know, let me know, and let John Egan know about the situation so that that can be addressed, that the playable area was not right. I don't think it's really going to happen in I don't know of any schools that currently would not meet the restriction in our area. And then again, like Kathy said, tournaments are a whole different beast. So we just kind of go with what they have at the tournaments. So in order to make it work.
Okay, any questions, guys? No? Good? Okay. Again, I'm gonna say this probably multiple times. If one of the most important things we've covered so far is going to be pre-match. And if your partner isn't there for the pre-match, we'll talk about that later. But right now, pre-match pretty much will either give you great success in your match or many hindrances. So let's go over to Rule 4, player equipment and uniform. We are going to cover 4.1, situation A and C. Let's just cover them. So let's see, 4.1 note. I'm just going to cover it really fast. I think I'm going quick enough. At the beginning of a team warm-ups, the referees observe A, player on the court with jewelry, B, a team manager assisting with drills wearing an electronic music device, C, a student assisting with warm-ups wearing flip-flops, a student talking on a cell phone while assisting with warm-ups, D, an adult assisting with warm-ups with high-heeled shoes. The R1 informs the team coach that in each case, the person must make corrections to his or her attire before continue to assist with warm-ups. Ruling. A, B, C, and D are correct. Ruling. E, incorrect. Ruling. This is an adult assisting with warm-ups with high-heel shoes. Previous NFHS rule interpretations have indicated that it is important for purposes of risk minimization that any individual actively taking part in team warm-ups be in proper attire and free from electronic devices such as a cell phone, music devices. While minors still must be in proper attire, it has been determined that adults participating in team warm-ups are responsible for their own well-being. Let me make a note really fast. Several things. Earbuds, illegal. You see them, off. If they have their phone or whatever tucked in their shorts and their shirt, whatever, off. As far as footwear, my understanding, and Jeff, you can correct me, it was several years ago, if the coach, and one of them was Jack Richards, chose to continue to ball handle and actively warm up in flip-flops, I cannot make him change that. I can make a recommendation. Even the high heels, I think it's crazy scary, but I think they made the recommendation that that was their risk, and we can only make the recommendation.
Right. With what it is, if it's an adult, they can wear flip-flops or high heels. If it is a student or an assistant, then we can require them to change or leave the court. But adults, coaches, are allowed to wear whatever footwear they want.
So let's go on to note
It's really not an
situation.
age thing. It's more of a student thing, right? If they're
I'm sorry?
if they're a student of the school or any student, then they shouldn't be wearing flip-flops or high heels.
Correct.
All right.
And on a note of footwear, again, this is not pre the warm-ups. Your line judges, I don't know if the casebook covers it, but I think we have grandfathered in every year. Your line judges must be in athletic shoes. They cannot be in slippers or flip-flops or Uggs or whatever. They cannot get out of the way safely unless they are in an athletic shoe. Is that correct, Jeff? Did he leave? Okay. I'm going to pass on to you. Please, I don't care whose shoes they are. It should be their own. I do not want a line judge in anything but athletic shoes.
Even adults?
It doesn't matter. They can't get out of the way. I don't want them on the court if they don't have that, because it's a safety issue.
What I say is closed-toed shoes is the way I usually refer to it, but that leaves a little more. But yeah, nothing that could slip off their feet if they had to get out of the way. If they had to move because the play was coming to them, they can't wear sandals that could slip off their feet as they're trying to get out of the way. That's what we're trying to avoid.
Agreed. Okay, so let's go to situation A. During warm-ups, the referee observes a player with A prosthetic arm, B, a helmet made of polyethylene foam. The first referee asked the player's coach for a letter of approval for participation from the state association, which is the state association policy. Ruling, correct procedure. Comment, a player wearing a prosthesis shall not play unless he or she has authorization from the state association. The player in B must have authorization from the state association and may include a statement from appropriate healthcare providers releasing the student to play. All special accommodations should be provided to the first referee prior to the match. The issue with the helmet is most likely they've had too many concussions and they're required to wear it. Again, that's where I would definitely, besides the state association, and again, footnote to this, the state actually requires a letter from the physician in order to approve that helmet. So it really shouldn't be an issue. The state would never approve a polyethylene helmet without a physician's notice, just so you know. Okay.
So should we, if they have that, I would say we should not let them do it without it, correct? I wouldn't tell them to take it off.
No, you don't. You do not. You don't have.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't want to cross over your responsibility as an official.
Right.
So what we want to just do is we want to have the letter from the state approving the device, whether it's a prosthesis or it's a helmet, whatever it is, and it must state specifically what it is they're wearing. 2, if it is a helmet, they're saying also besides the notification from the state, you must have a physician's clearance for that helmet.
Right, but what I'm saying is if they do have the helmet and they don't have the letter, I would say they can't do it, not just we don't tell them.
Play.
Right, they can't just take it off at that point is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Right.
There's probably a reason. I mean, you know, that's a real gray area, because if they just say, I'm going to take it off, then that's scary, because again, like I'm saying, there's probably a reason that they need to wear it, and it's a concussion issue. I would probably talk to the AD and the coach. I know I wouldn't want to be liable for that player accidentally hitting their head and being permanently, you know, handicapped.
But
I look at
wouldn't this be one of those situations where you would go ahead and just let him play it, and then let our assigner know about it, about having a letter there or something like that?
So here's the thing: if they walk into the court with the helmet on, oh, sorry, I was reading text. Okay, if they walk into the court and they have that helmet on before they start warm-ups or anything, and then they take it off, I would probably go directly to the coach and possibly call the assigner or the IC. I also keep the number for SCVOA in my phone, not that you guys need to. If I really was concerned on judgment, honestly, guys, in my experience, I would probably ask the coach to not have that player play because of liability, and that I would submit that to CIF and also SCVOA, and they can follow up. But for that match, if I have a concern of a patient, of a player's safety, I know I've been working too much. If I have a concern for, it would be like if that player accidentally dove for a ball and hit their head on the court, you now have to make a judgment, a concussion judgment, on whether that it's safe to let that player continue to play. Correct?
Or if they headbutt somebody by accident. That's a lot of that too.
If
Oh,
someone is wearing a helmet, if they come on to the court wearing a helmet or a pad or something like that, and they instruct you that it's there for concussion reasons, and they do not have a letter, I will not let that player play. If I am made aware that that they are wearing that for a medical protective reason without a letter, they're not going to play.
Can that be brought up to the coaches' meetings?
No,
Yep.
That's something you should talk privately.
No. When you guys go visit the coaches, and did you do a preseason meeting with the coaches and stuff like that?
Oh, I got you. They know. I think it's brought up. They know the concussion rule, which is they need a letter. If they've suffered a concussion, they cannot come back without a letter.
Because I'll be honest, with this Sue Happy America, it's interesting to see how this can get a little out of hand. You know what I mean?
well, I'm going to tell you, safety-wise, that's our number one rule as a referee.
Exactly.
And somebody coming on a court with a helmet, I've never seen it unless they've had a note from a doctor or something like that. But I'm just saying, I think Jeff's right. It's very simple. That if they're going to have something like that coming out, they're most likely they've already gone to a doctor, and they should already have that.
Okay, let's keep going, guys. The next thing we're going to go to is page 16, and we're going to cover legal uniforms. If everybody can get there, we're going to start with 4.2.4. It should be gray. Okay, so the situation: Team A's uniforms are black with numbers that are A, dark green and borderless. B, white with a double border brim or trim. C, dark green and trimmed in yellow gold. So ruling. So A is legal. Oh, no, excuse me. A is illegal. And guys, honestly, I want to talk about uniform really quick before I finish legal and not legal. If you go to a school and they are not aware that their color of their shirt, the primary color, and their numbers are too closely related, such as black and dark green or black and plum, and you cannot read, Jeff, we all should be getting, and the assigner, an email as soon as you finish that match or that evening notifying us of uniform issues with that school. And again, this is varsity. The rule book and case book are directly related to varsity uniforms. Okay. Okay. Let's see, and then the ruling, and then B and C are legal. So comment, double border trim is legal and allows a number and or trim completely surrounding the number, that it is sharp contrast with the uniform top color and is visible and thus legal. The trim can be no wider than 1/2 inch at the widest point and must be wide enough to clearly distinguish the number. Beginning in 2023-24, C will also be illegal as the numbers must be clearly contrasting with the uniform top regardless of its border. Okay? Again, highlight, take notes, guys. ABC 4.2.7. Situation. The libero. Gosh, how many times have we had a problem reading the libero? Carpinteria, Bishop Diego, Lorena, St. Bonaventure. There's so many schools I can't even tell you. The libero on Team A is injured and cannot continue to play. The coach redesignates player number 14 as the new libero and instructs number 14 to change into a libero jersey. The player proceeds to the end of the bench area and removes the uniform top, number 14, to put on the new uniform libero jersey. The first referee assesses the bench coach and an unsporting-like conduct, yellow card for the first offense. Why, guys? Oh, Lou, unmute yourself. Or, there you go.
And they're not supposed to change the top or the bottom of the uniform.
Correct, in a visible area, playing area.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you know the school or teams that maybe have a bad track record, pre-match. If you need to change in a non-visible area, cannot be at the benches. Okay. Ruling, correct procedure, comment, removal of any part of the uniform top or bottom while in the playing area is unsporting conduct. The head coach is not required to remain seated for unsporting conduct, yellow card. This is a new ruling, changing the rule. Any questions?
Yeah, Kathy.
So. Yeah.
Kathy, you said visible. It doesn't have to be visible. It just can't be on the playing surface. It could be behind the bench.
Can't be in a playing area.
Right. So they can change behind the bench. Invisible. It's just a playing surface, I thought, or a playing area.
No, in the playing area. So
it could be visible. Just
discretionary. The discretionary. Yes, if they can be in a place that's less visible, that would be my directive.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, behind the bench is a non-playable area. You're correct, Jason.
Okay.
Okay, let me go on. We're going to go to page 18 and 19. Let me set this up for Kaz. Page 18 and 19. We're going to cover first referee. Oopsies, did I spell that right? Okay, and that's going to be 5.4.3 and 5.4.4. Okay, let me send that to him. Okay, 18. Let's see, 5.4.3. Okay, situations A and B. Here we go. Situation A. A ball landing near an end line is called in by the line judge. The first referee observes the ball land out of bounds. What's the ruling? Out of bounds. Loss of rally point. Comment. The first referee makes the final decision when there is a disagreement between officials. Guys, what I would recommend, have a good pre-match with your line judges. I go through the same routine every single time I do my pre-match with my line judges. I cover, show me an in call, show me out, show me touch. I show them where to stand. I show them a no call. How many of you direct your line judges to signal a no call? They need to know what it is, okay? If you do have an issue, I would also bring your line judge over and talk to them. You know, they're usually students. They need reassurance that you saw something different. If it's a varsity player on a freshman match and he's like, I got this, I saw it, you may want to bring your R2 over. What did you see? Bring a little bit more information into the conversation. Again, not delaying your match, but getting the right call. If you have to make the call, make the call. If you're 100% sure it's my call, it's out, and go with it. You're probably going to have a strong R2 that says, hey coach, it's out, it was obvious, we're going, you know, forward. If it continually happens, judge, is it in the best interest of salvaging a good game? Yes. Okay. You may have to wait till in between a set. If you can't wait in between a set, they're preoccupied with somebody on the bench or whatever, do it. It's for the integrity of the game. Good? Okay. So let's go to situation B. After Team S scores a point, Team R's coach brings to the attention of the first referee that during the rally, a back row player from Team S participated in a completed block. Ruling, point stands. Comment, the alleged fault was not recognized by either the referees, so the call stands. Strong pre-match, strong partners, talk to each other, okay? Ask your partner, how can I help you? R1, tell your R2 what you need from them. If you know something about the coach, the school, the team, talk to each other, help each other, okay? Let's go to 5.4.4 situation A, and that's on the next page. So Team S believes it has scored match point in set 5. Team S's coach and teammates enter the court in celebration. The first referee whistles, gives the end of set signal, and releases the players. However, it is discovered during the second referee's check of the score, Team S has only 14 points. The referees restore order and ask both teams to return to the court. Ruling, correct. Chaos, really fast. Anybody want to offer what they could do to CYA? You can unmute yourself if you have something to offer.
Don't we always want to check with the score table?
At what point? It's in the rules.
14.
What point do you check at?
It should be the point before the set match. Should be a signal already to the R1 that 1 point is needed to finish.
Yeah, I'll check because I know in a regular 25-point set, it's at point 23. Okay, so I would always save yourself and do 2 points prior. So at 13, is the score correct? What are they going to tell you? Right? Physically look at the score sheet. Good idea. Okay.
I think the 2 points before is also good.
It is, because if you have a problem at that point, you can correct it. Okay? So comment, the second referee should confer with both head coaches to explain the situation. When ready to resume play, the same 6 players on Team S return to the court in the same serving order and Team S serves again. Either team may make a substitution prior to the serve. The second referee should confirm the score and signal set point to the first referee before the end of the set to avoid this type of situation. Another thing too, they can take a timeout, but physically take the score sheet, make sure the players are in the right rotation. A lot of times when this kind of chaos happens, people do not return to the court in the correct position. Make sure you have the correct server on Team S and everybody's lined up correctly. And the same on the receiving team. Again, very critical to both, because you call out a team R because we did not educate them and put them in the correct position. That's on us. So, okay, let us go to, those are just some things. Please read over all of the other ones we're not covering, guys. Kaz, we're gonna go to second referee. And this is going to be 5.5.3. This is situation A and C. Okay, so 5.5.3. Again, this is situation A. During play, the second referee makes several ball handling calls. Again, during play, the second referee makes several ball handling calls. Ruling, incorrect procedure. Let me reword this. Second referee silent signals to the R1 a double contact. Not ball handling, but a double contact. So maybe they saw something that the R1's view was obstructed, okay? Again, the R2 is not responsible for a double contact or ball handling call. But if you see something, and again, in pre-match, your partner says, if you see something, give it to me, you're going to silent signal, you're not going to whistle or call this call. Okay, finishing here. Ball handling calls are the responsibility of the first referee. If an illegal contact is clearly out of the view of the first referee, an informal signal is used by the R2 to communicate to the R1, who shall initiate the signal of the fault. The referees shall discuss any discrepancies in private. Again, guys, if you are stronger than the R1 and you are giving the R1 a silent signal, just remember, even though you're trying to help your partner, and you may have covered this in your pre-match, what's going to happen at your benches? Are you going to start getting a load of slack from, or crap from your coaches? Yeah, you are. Coach, I offered information to the R1. Again, it's what you say to coaches that'll either keep you sane or get you in trouble. I offered information to the R1. He agreed. He made the call. She made the call. Does that make sense? Anybody have any other verbiage they would like to offer? If you want to unmute.
No, that sounds like a good response.
Okay, and leave it at that.
What you don't want to do is throw the R1 under the bus. Correct.
Good point, Lou. I offered information. The R1 agreed. We're going from there. Because they're going to come out with, well, who's calling the match? Coach? You know, if they cross the line, guys, and they need an unsportsmanlike conduct, then again, you're going to have to cover in pre-match with your official, your other official, talk to each other. Okay, let's go to, we're going to go to page 22, captains. Okay. Okay. 22, captains. This is 6.3.1. Situation. The coach fails to designate a new playing captain when substituting for the current playing captain. There's no penalty. Again, can we probably cover this in pre-match? Shake your heads, yes. Because if we know who a possible alternate captain is, we may have already saved ourselves some trouble. Okay? Comment. The rule which permits play, excuse me, sorry, captains. Comment. No player may request a timeout, a check of the serving order. Wait, am I doing that? The coach.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. Serving order communication with referees in the absence of a playing captain. The second referee should request that a playing captain is designated. Guys, if you miss it, let's say we've called the sub, tweet, play has begun, and now you reckon, or the table says, hey, I need a new coach or new captain. Wait for a dead ball. Hey, coach, I'm sorry, your captain came out. What may have happened is that captain may automatically now go back in. Still ask the coach who is going to be the alternate playing captain. Vocabulary is very important in volleyball. We are not consistent with that. Make sure your vocabulary is top notch when you go to a game. Okay. Player position, page 22. We're going to go to 6.4.2. Send that to Kaz. Okay. So 6.4.2, player positions. And we're going to cover A and B. So let's start with situation A. The Team S Libero has not yet served in the current set. Player number 3, the second server for Team S, should be the next legal server. Where are they? What position? Anybody know? Position 2, right front? Okay. However, the Libero, who has been on the bench, replaces number 7 and goes to the right back position to serve. The referees allow the illegal service contact to occur, then whistle and signal an improper server. Later in the same set, following a legal replacement, the Libero serves in a different position since she has not yet executed a legal serve in that set. The first referee allows the serve. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Correct procedure. Okay. So that's going to be one of those, guys. Make sure you know who the Libero is serving for. Again, especially if you're the R2, but even so much as if you're the R1, you should know who the Libero serves for. It's going to be probably a middle blocker 9 chances out of 10. Okay. That way, especially at the beginning of the season, if they serve twice, you're going to know it right away. Okay. They need to make contact of the ball for it to be illegal, though. Make sure you don't whistle too soon. Okay. Comment. The Libero did not replace a legal server. Therefore, the Libero has not yet served and may subsequently serve in any position. To indicate the improper server, the scorer records the loss of rally symbol in the individual scoring section of the score sheet and does not place a triangle around the Roman numeral 2 under serving order. So you know how we put a triangle when the Libero serves? Make sure it's not designated for the wrong serving position. So whatever Roman numeral it is, if that error ever happens, turn around and make sure that your Libero tracker designates the correct replacement and service position. Everybody good with that? Okay.
Hey, Kat, can we take a break really quick, like 5 or 10 minutes?
Break? What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Sure. Like, okay, 5 minutes. I have 7:21. If you guys can be back here by 7:26.
All right. Thank you.
Good. So. We do, Kat. We need to take a break. Okay. World. Are you doing okay? You can always type a question. I will answer. Most of this you should know. 6.4.3. Oh.
All right. I just finally finished the PAVO thing. It's only 2.5 hours. But
Right?
it was good. I missed one of the poll questions because I was assigning the breakout rooms because I kept resetting. But I'm
well versed on alignment. That's kind of the teetering point outside of maybe one or two other things that really sets you to the next level. And what I mean by that is, as the R1, again, you're looking at the serving team, being able to know what players, and how do you know those players? Well, you memorize their lineups, or you find tricks of the trade. If I've ever worked with you, I'll always try and teach you how to memorize a lineup. Receiving, do you have setter overlap? Do you have libero that hasn't reset to the correct position? Your biggest offenders on your alignment, I can tell you right now, is either going to be your setter, your libero, or a middle that just subbed in. Those are probably the three biggest offenders on any of alignment. Okay, so let's talk about this. 6.4.3, and they have situation B. An incorrect server for team A scores 2 points before losing the serve. The server on team B is granted a reserve after a bad toss. The referee discovers that team A had an improper server before team B contacts the reserve. Ruling: illegal alignment, improper server charged to team A. Points scored by the improper server are canceled. Guys, this is going to be one of those cluster you-know-what situations. Okay? The only thing I can say is take care of it step by step, correctly. When you're done correcting, canceling the score, the visual score, make sure both of your speaking court captains understand what's going on. Both of your coaches know what's going on. Okay? Comment: a serve is a contact with the ball to initiate play. The server from Team B had not yet contacted the ball for serve. Had the contact been made on the reserve, the points would have remained. That's the important part of this. So they threw the ball up, but they did not make contact. Okay, it's a reserve. Any questions on that? Does anybody have anything to offer or ask? Or are you guys good? Thumbs up.
I'm good. I was just gonna ask,
Go ahead.
how does everyone feel about recognizing incorrect alignment? So, thumbs up, thumbs down. So.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dave,
feels-
how are you?
It feels wrong when you see it the first time, and then
Yeah.
pulling the trigger, to be sure of yourself, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Kat, do you mind if I do a screen share and I can just kind of draw out a common one, or like the first three?
Really fast too. I want to, go ahead if you want to do that, but I want to make a point. If indeed there was a wrong server on team A, make sure in the whole process that when you're correcting things, before team B contacts the ball again or for the first time, alignment, because most likely the next server is probably still wrong, or the player who just contacted the ball on team A would probably be the next server. So you may have to rotate them one back, but make sure both teams are in correct alignment before play continues. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Robert. What were you going to show?
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of type it up and draw the common ones for rotations 1, 2, and 3. So we have, here's our box. This is the net. And we have, I'll type it from here on out. So this rotation 1 is usually the setter serving. So we have right back, and then the next
Right
person
front.
usually, huh?
Right front.
Or yeah, right front. But I'm gonna do the opposites, like in the orders of the players. So this is area 1. Everyone knows. I'm pretty sure everyone here knows the correct areas. But this is usually the order that the players line up in. What was it? Rotation 1. So then we have right front, left back, and then
Middle back.
middle back. That's usually libero. So that's how we line up in, if we're serving, right back is our server. Let's see, how do I draw?
You got your fronts mixed up. You got your left front and your right front, unless you're trying to put them out of order.
Well, no, this is how they would line up in their serving order at the beginning of the match if they're serving, right?
No, your left front's in the wrong.
Your left front and your right front are mixed up.
Right front.
So switch your left front and right front.
Right. Left front and right front?
Yeah, because right front should still be, you shouldn't, right is right, left is left.
Yeah, but they line up in their opposites.
No, they can't. They would be, they probably are going to be at middle, waiting to switch sides at the middle blocker, but they cannot overlap. They cannot, remember, if you're front row, you want to be, you do not want to be below a back row player, and you don't want to be overlapping to your left or to your right.
Mm-hmm.
Not any back row player though. The one directly
behind you. Correct.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so this is usually how they line up, or since we have the right lane, the middle lane, and the left lane.
Yep.
But when they're playing, they're going to be in opposite order. So
correct.
Right back will be opposite of left front, even though that the left front is usually considered the outside hitter. And then when they line up for serve receive, oh wait, I need to draw this.
The most important part is, where are they on contact of the serve? So guys, the most important criteria here is serving team, receiving team, where are they at the point of contact of the ball? So R1, your eyes are on the serving team. R2, your eyes are on the receiving team. But if movement occurs, what are you listening for? Contact of the ball, right? Because if you're watching contact of the ball, then you're not going to be able to see an overlap. So you want to be conditioned, unless you have really great peripheral vision, because we pretty much stand now perpendicular to the center pole versus angled like we used to. We are still one step to the left of the pole or right of the pole on the receiving team side, so we have a small distance to cover. So you are looking at the receiving team. If you are the R2, you're going to listen for or momentarily look for contact of the serve. If a player, not necessarily the server, if any player is out of alignment, overlapping, which would cause an unfair advantage at the moment of the contact of serve, you're going to call an out of alignment.
Okay.
Does everybody understand that?
Yeah. So in this alignment, we have left front has to be in front of left back. It's almost identical to this one. There's not too much happening except the right front just drops back to pass in front of the right back that just served, because that's usually the setter. They don't want the setter passing the first ball. So right now everything is good, because the only time that you might have an out of rotation is if the right back comes up too soon, or if this left front goes in is in switched with the middle front. Those are usually the common ones for rotation 1. Rotation 2 is a little bit hairy because there's a triangle involved. But Kathy, is it okay if I do this really quick, or should I?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just writing Kaz a note.
Okay.
So he can know what the next one is.
Okay. So now we've rotated. So this player right here, right front, is now in right back. For learning's sake, we call this, or the serving order is usually right, left, middle, right, left, middle. So then your opposites are the same. So your left is usually your outside hitters. Your rights are usually your setter or your opposite hitter. Then your middle is your middle fronts and your libero if you have one. So for the sake of this, I'm going to call this.
Robert, Robert, we all know that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
You know, so you can start with 2 right there if you want, and then
Okay,
just follow along.
I'll do that. That's easier. Thank you. So now we have 6, 3. Oh, yeah, that's actually a way better idea.
4, yeah.
4
and what I was going to say, everybody, if you can still hear me, there are multiple alignments to review in your case study book from 23, 24, and page 25. If you please go over those. Again, it's going to have everything to do. Robert, sorry to interrupt you. It has everything for you to understand. You need to learn or memorize your lineups so you know which player is in what position. Most people do opposites. They do setter and your one of your hitters, or they do middle back, middle front. That can get you into trouble if you have multiple substitutions. Memorize your lineups. So go ahead, Robert.
Okay, I think I'm almost done.
Let me jump. Can I jump in for a sec too? What I do is it's the setter and the opposite are the 2 most important numbers to know, because 90% of your alignment issues are in some way going to involve those 2 players. Even if they're not the one who made the mistake, the other player, their teammate, is probably going to put them in the wrong position. So if you can memorize, always be tracking your setter and your opposite as they move around the court, you'll be able to catch a lot of illegal alignments.
Yeah. So in this one, in rotation 2, we have the setter in this case, the setter didn't just serve, or the setter. No, never mind. That's
setter's number 1, Robert.
Yeah, setter's number 1 right now. Number 2 is an outside hitter. That means the middle is the next server. So so the
1, 2, and 6 are in the back row on that one. That's fine. 1, 2, and 6 are back row. 3, 4, and 5 are front row.
1, 2, yeah.
2 is your probably your setter and middle back.
Yeah. So 1 is right there because they're okay. Yeah. So our 2 is right here.
Or 1, yeah.
Okay. So this is a little bit out of alignment right here, but you have 3s behind 2. Here are how it looks right now, and then with the rules. So you have 4 is to the left of 3 right now, but they're also in front of 2, or in front of 1, as we have right here.
So what he's showing you guys, this is on serve and receive. What I want to say to you as a point is, and you'll probably agree with this, both of you and Jeff and Robert. For all of you, you're going to have a left side stack and you're going to have a right side stack in defensive receive. What is most important is to understand who is front row, who is back row. 9 chances out of 10, you're going to have 3 players all in a row or scrunched up in a ball. You need to designate who is front row, who is back row, and what position, left back. And a lot of times you've got a setter in there. You have a weak left back. They're going to tuck the left back all the way to the corner because they don't want them receiving. They're going to bring the left front down to actually receive a possible serve. But you've got a setter in there too who needs to motion. They may overlap the middle back, who again wants to be in a receiving position on serve. So you may have a huge cluster of players in left or right side shift. Again, take a moment, look at the players, know who is where. Yes.
Kathy, I know you're talking that very quickly. Is there any way you can show that in a demonstration where you show what you're talking about per number? Because as you're going fast, I'm losing you.
Okay, so Robert, so take, so your setter is 1, is that correct?
Yes, my setter's 1 right now.
Okay, so right now you kind of have a right side shift. So your open square. So 5 is left front, I do want him receiving. 6, I want you to drop down all the way to the end line.
Wait, where is he? All the way back?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So, and then, so 5 is going to be passing, 6 is dropping out. I don't want him passing. You said 1 is your setter?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to move forward just a little bit over more towards center court. And then 1 right below him. 2, I want you almost next to 6, and then 3 drop down to almost where, just like another ½ an inch down. So literally you have an end line stack for receiving, but you've got the setter in the middle up at the net, but towards the right.
Right here?
I can't see here, nothing's coming up on my screen.
Oh.
Robert, she means in the bottom rotation 2, just clean up what you were doing, what she was trying to explain to move some of the pieces on rotation bottom 2.
Okay, let me move that around.
Like, can you just click, like, can you click on 6 and like move it down?
Like that?
Nothing's happening.
I'm not seeing anything on my screen.
Okay, there's a little bit. Oh, wait. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So okay. click on 6.
Drop him all the way down to the line, but move him a little bit towards 5. Towards 5, there you go. Now, bring 2 all the way over.
Hey, Robert, fix all that too. Delete.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get these marks off. I wonder if I can erase.
Just use your open square. Just use your open square here. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Okay.
So we have.
So 5 is going to be receiving kind of about a little higher.
All right, let me go.
A little higher. Okay. There you go. Now 6, bring him over, but you want to tuck him. And this is where a lot of times this is a problem, because when they tuck a player, you really need to know what position that player is in, because stay on the court and they'll line up in the wrong position. Now, 1 is your setter, right?
Yeah.
So 1 up to the top 3rd right-hand side of the court. There you go. But he has to be below 4. So put 4 at the net.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't even matter. So go forward to a little bit to the right. A little bit more to the right.
Let's see.
To the right. There you go. A little more, because you want to do a right side stack almost.
Yeah.
Okay. A little more to the right.
For 4?
Uh-huh. Because remember, it's the middle blocker. So, okay. And then bring 3 down.
3's back. 3's the middle blocker.
No, because 5 is left front. 4 is the middle blocker right now. Well, I mean, okay, anyways. And then 2, bring 2 up higher. So if you drop down between 1 and 4, there you go. So, and actually 3 would almost be a little bit lower. This is for a deep end serve. So the opposing team has probably been hitting your end line. But you need to see where 1 is, because a lot of times that setter is going to overlap 4. They're going to bring 4 a little bit more to the right. And what happens is 1 overlaps 4. So now you have a back row player overlapping a front row player. Do you see what I'm saying? That setter will automatically take a step to the right. Well, number 4 is going to take a step to the left or back to go into play or go into motion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting kind of close to the end of the time, and we still have the quiz to take.
Anyways.
So can we pick up on this next time?
On service and receive, if you have a question, let's say you know almost 100% sure somebody is out of alignment and you're on the stand. What can you do?
Correct it.
Okay, well, before contact is made and maybe you don't want to make a wrong call, what else can you do? Can you call your partner over?
You mean like do preventive officiating kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. So is it important that the R2 has an idea, again, in pre-match? So something, if you guys can see me really fast, I'm going to put my hand out to my partner, and this is something I tell them, especially new officials, and I do like a circle, okay?
Yeah, it's got to go up. I can't see you.
You got to go higher with your hands.
Okay, can you see my hand?
Yep.
Okay, I would have it this way, and I would do a circle.
Oh, okay. Flat.
Okay.
Flat.
And I
like
may
this.
say number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, asking what player, okay, in rotation, okay, what number. But again, I'm gonna cover with my partner if I'm trying to teach them rotations. If you guys know me, I'm probably gonna teach you rotations. Okay, I probably already know. Do I mess up? Yes, I do. But 95% of the time, I know everybody who's on the court. I can tell you everybody who's subbed, and I know who's in for the libero.
Hey.
But talk to your partners. Let's get on to the next one. Okay, guys? Study your alignments. Read over each one. Okay? Robert, I'm going to have you take down that screen. Is that okay? Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay, we're going to talk about screening. Show of hands. Has anybody ever called a screening call before? Anybody? Okay, good. Tony? Brett, have you ever called a screen? No. Lou, no. Robert, have you ever called a screen? Okay. Kaz, have you ever called a screen?
You can't probably see it.
Okay, that's fine. And Jason, have you ever called a screen?
No, but I explained one away.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you 9 chances out of 10, you're probably going to call a screen in boys season. It's plain and simple. It's a defensive tactic maneuver, okay? So let's talk about screen. We're on page 26. It's 6.5.2. And it's going to be situation A, B, and C. So let's talk about a screen.
Kath,
6 point.
I have to interrupt you right now. We have 10 minutes left, and we still have to take the quiz. So
Okay. I'm just going to cover it real quick.
I mean, all the other rooms are ready to break out. Like they're ready to, they're done.
Sorry. Okay. Let's cover. Can we just cover at least one of them really fast?
Really quick, yeah.
Okay. So center front on team R claims right front on team S, who is standing close to the net but not jumping or waving, is screening the center front view of the server. Really fast. A screen is multiple players or single player that is in the direct view of the receiving team. They cannot see the server, and the serve is low, fast, and direct. Okay, so.
Wait, and there's one more, right? The receiver has to try to see it. The receiver has to try to move, right?
Correct. If they can actually make movement and still see the server, but.
Okay, now I need to send
Yeah,
a.
it'll give a minute. Just go to breakout rooms, then say close the breakout rooms, and it'll give everybody a minute to get back.
Okay, perfect.
And then it'll give them a countdown for a minute.
Okay, perfect.
There we go. Now they're populating.
Jeff, I think we're all back.
Did I do it right? I don't see it.
Let's see. All right. Yep. Looking good. All right, guys. Hey, I hope you found that helpful. I am sorry about the glitches at the beginning. It took away about 10 minutes of our time that we could have used. But next time we do it, we'll be a little more prepared and ready for for that. Okay, we have a quiz. There's 2 of them actually, because we can only do a max of 10 questions, and I had more than 10 questions. So go through and take the quiz, and then when you're done, you say end the poll.
And then once everyone gets through the first quiz, it's 10 questions. I can start the second part, which is only 5.
So Jeff, I'm assuming some of us cannot take the
Right.
test.
If you're yes, correct. If you're a host or a co-host, you cannot take the quiz. It's only for participants.
Thank you. Doesn't look like anybody's voting. They need to go in.
It's because it doesn't show them or it doesn't show a poll completed until they end the poll.
Okay, got it.
Oh, so the poll is a test. Yeah. Okay.
It just says 0 of 37 attendees are now viewing questions.
Right. So when they hit end poll, when they do all 10 questions, then it'll populate.
Oh, got it. Okay.
They're 10 or 15.
There's 10 on this one and 5 on the other. There's 2 quizzes.
Oh, okay.
Please be quiet while the test is
Yeah,
being
guys.
taken.
Sorry.
Newens, did you just ask what about the test? It should have been prompted to you as a poll. It should automatically have been prompted to you, Jim.
Is there anyone else that isn't seeing the poll on their screen?
Jim Newens might not be. Yeah, Jim Newens needs it.
I wonder if I can. Let me see.
Hey, Tim,
Yeah.
you want to buy a grass volleyball setup?
Possibly. For how much though?
For you, I'll give you a deal. Such a deal.
Only $200.
200.
Everybody else.
It cost me more to deliver it than I just. You know, I'm only serious.
Let these guys finish the test.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'll mute.
Yeah, Larry's distracting me.
Jeff, I just sent you something.
How do I get to the second test?
Once almost everyone except for Jim has taken this test, I'll open up the second one.
Okay.
Sorry, Jim.
I just noticed a typo on number 10. It's supposed to be B and C, not A and B.
Uh-oh.
As the D, as the last one.
10 questions.
Yeah, don't worry. The answers are anonymous.
Not anymore.
I've heard that before.
Is there anyone else that's having trouble opening the quiz?
I took it already. It was great.
There you are, Jeff. What's the second one? Yeah, I just finished it. Submitted. How about the second test?
Is there anyone else that's still taking the first test?
Oh, is there 2 tests?
Yeah, well, I have to, or once everyone's done with the first one, I can open the second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's still, it looks like only 31 people have completed the test so far.
Mm-hmm. But we know Jim can't take it, so we might have
And
5
there's
people that
4
are.
of us as well, so that would be at least 5 people cannot take it.
Okay. Then, yeah, now it looks like that one's done.
And if anybody's working on a phone too, they may not be able, if it's not a smartphone.
All right. Now I'm going to launch the second one.
I don't know about that one.
The date, you said 2 weeks is what date?
The 16th.
16th. Yeah. Okay.
So I basically have the meetings spread out every 2 weeks. So through through November, through the end of November. No, sorry, not through the end of November. Through the end of September. Right?
Through the end of October.
End of October. Thank you, Robert.
Got it. All right. On that note, you guys are free to go. If you have questions, comments, concerns, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Thank you.